In this next video, we are going to deal with the construction of the future value calculator. As we've done in other videos, this one will attack both prongs, number one being the file structure elements that we went through on the first day of class, and then secondarily being the functionality that Excel can offer in terms of helping us solve regularly problems that regard valuation. So in front of us, I built a little spreadsheet with a problem that is presented to us that says something to the effect of, you're thinking about getting married and you want to be able to save up some money. You're going to have a job, and so you'll have the ability to put some money away, and you want to know whether or not you're going to get to have a nice big fancy wedding or whether your wedding will just be at the mini bar. So we will start with our basic structural elements. As we learned the other day, we'll navigate to Alt-PSP, and what we want to do there is make sure that we have our headers and footers set up properly. Now, I actually copied and pasted this workbook from one that I had already done, so you notice that already pre-existing in the workbook is the file name and the tab name in the center section of my header. I also want to check and make sure that my footer appropriately has the page number and the number of pages. The last thing we'll do then is using Alt-FA and then pressing 1 for my most recent file folder location. We'll give this a standard name like BSE 2310-Kamienski - this one we're doing is our FV or future value sample. So for the purposes of this video, let's also add in a little bit of lecture content, which says, so how is it that you're going to go about and solve these problems? Over the years, I've developed a problem-solving process that looks like this. Anytime you're presented with problems of this nature, the first step you're going to want to take is read the problem twice. Second thing that you're going to want to do then is, while you're reading and then have read the problem twice, you want to write down everything that you know about the problem, which I call documenting all assumptions. So in this case, for example, as we read the problem, you see a number that says you're thinking about getting married in 5 years. So it just so happens that our value problems align very nicely to the documentation of assumptions. So my time period is 5, as in 5 years. The second thing you see is that you can save $100 per month, every month. As the readings in the chapter will tell you, that's what's called a payment. Now, one of the things we need to be cautious with is Excel thinks that inflows are positive numbers if you're getting money. Excel thinks that outflows are investment numbers, are negatives. So if you're making an investment, if you're putting money in the bank, Excel thinks of that as an outflow. So we're actually going to call the payment negative. You're taking money from your pocket, you're driving it to the bank to save for some future day. The next data that we see in here is an interest rate of 0.08% monthly. Now, my suggestion to you as it relates to interest rates is to always use decimals. Don't use the percentage function unless you really want, because to me, it can be goofy, but what that means is you have to know decimal form. So 0.08% is really 0.008, and that's an interest rate that's monthly. But now you see that we have a monthly interest rate, but our time periods is for 5 years. Well, those things are out of sync, and we want to make sure that our time periods match. So I'm going to hit F2 to go into edit mode, and I'm going to say it's really 5 years, each year having 12 months. So now I'm really saving $100 per month for 60 months at an interest rate of 0.08% monthly. All right, last thing then is it's asking me how much will I really have saved in the future. Well, it doesn't indicate that I'm doing any type of investment right now, so I've got a 0 there, and it looks clearly like they're asking me for future value. The navigation is Alt-HHN. Oops, that's Alt-HHN is no color. Sorry, it's Alt-HH. And then I'll use my keyboard to select my yellow color. Let's do a little more aesthetic cleanup. Payment, future value, and present value are all dollars. So I'll select them and then navigate to Alt-HAN, enter. And that gives me nice little dollar signs. I'm going to Control S to save this thing, because the last thing we're going to do is we're going to now use Excel's functionality to build the future value formula. The navigation is Alt-MF. Once there, we can choose of the categories, the financial categories, and this one is called FV for future value. So we click OK, and then again we get this nice dialog box. It says, what's your rate? 0.08% monthly. For how long? 60 months. How much you putting away? $100 a month. Got anything right now? Nope. So how much will you have for your wedding in the future? $7,662.39.